Hello fans, welcome back to DK Legacy Football. It's been a while. I posted anything, have some family emergencies and stuff that I need to take care of, and we all know family comes first, okay? But tonight or this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from, thank you fans for watching. The subscribers, thank you. Okay, so today all I want to talk about is the AFCON, okay, the African Cup of Nations finals between Senegal and Morocco, okay, and we all know how this game went today. And I gotta tell you something, man. Today's game, today's AFCON finals was one of the craziest, fun, intense, enjoyable finals to watch, okay? I'm just too excited, I feel like I'm on the field playing, because I'm myself a soccer player. So when I see something like that, it gets to me, I feel like I'm on the field, you know what I mean? So I'm going to break out some things, okay? First of all, I'm going to talk about the referee. I'm going to talk about the Senegalese head coach. I'm going to talk about Sadio Mane, or whatever, however they call him. But bro, when they say humbleness, respect, experience, he got it all. A leader, that's what we call a leader. Leadership, that's what we call leadership, okay? Okay, that's what we call leadership. And also, I'm going to say something about, I don't know if there's a law. I know there's a kind of rule or a law in soccer now that if all the players leave the soccer field, then the game is forfeited, okay? The whole situation with them leaving the field, I don't know if there was anybody else on the field when some of the players went in the locker room, okay? I'm pretty sure there should be someone left, because if they all left, then that game would have been forfeited, okay? Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to break up the first half, the analysis. I'm going to break up the second half, momentum and everything that went on, okay? So, both teams really came to play, okay? And I got to say, Senegal really started aggressively. They pressed high with Sadio Mane, okay? They really led, Sadio Mane really led leading the line. That's what he always does. That's a leadership. He's always leading. He's always leading, and that's what I love about him. As a captain, as a leader, you need to lead. Okay, and you know what? Who scored against Egypt in the semifinals to make them qualify for the finals? Sadio Mane. And how did he act after the goal? He celebrated, but what happened? He told him to calm down. Calm down. We this right here is a ticket to the finals, but we need to prove in the finals. After that, we can enjoy, we can celebrate, we can do whatever you want. Okay, all right. But Senegal really started the game aggressively. They had an important, like a really good chance in the first half, like in the first 30 minutes. I believe. Let me see if I can find a name. Yeah, I believe it was in Diaz. I know the name is kind of, most of the time the name is hard to pronounce, but in Diaz, okay, his name is Iliman Ndiaye. Okay, he had like a great opportunity, like a 1-to-1 with a goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong. Bono for Morocco's, his name is Bono. Don't get me wrong. That goal is one of the best African goalkeepers. Okay. That 1-1 chance that Ndiaye, Lehman missed, that chance right there would have stopped everything. That chance right there would have, give Senegal the momentum. They would have played the defense. It would have changed the game. Okay, it would have totally changed the game. But Bono saving that ball kind of, showed the Moroccan that, hey, we need to wake up. We can't let this happen. If to me, if I had that chance, I would have said what he was supposed to do was chip that ball over the goalie, because the goalie was already going down. He already gave you this side of the post for you to score. So why go down? That's when experience comes in. That's when composure comes in. When you get in front of a goal like that, that's when composure comes in. You're supposed to read the goalie. This right here, he was supposed to chip the ball over the goalie. If that ball would have been chipped, Bono would have been saved it because he kicked the ball lower, so he was able to save the ball with his feet. So that chance right there that he should have finished that ball. To me, he should have finished that goal, and Senegal would have had 1-0 in the first 30 minutes. Okay, Senegal played really good. They played hard, the pressure. Don't get me wrong, Morocco also had their chances. Okay, Morocco had their chances. They just weren't able to put it away. I'll probably say both teams had a good chance to put it away, and they weren't able to put the goal away. They weren't able to put the chances away. And don't get me wrong, both goalies for the teams are really good. We have Mendy, we have Edouard Mendy, and we all know who Mendy is. Mendy is one of also the great African goalies, okay? He's really good, experienced, he knows the game, and he's confident in the goal. Whenever he's playing, he's always confident, okay? So, that's what I'm saying, that this African Cup of Nations, this was one of the craziest, and it was intense, physically intense, pace, aggressiveness. And this is what we want to see in the finals. Okay, this is what we want to see in the finals. And they gave it all. Both teams really gave it all. Okay, so the first half went really good. They just couldn't, both teams weren't able to convert their chances. They weren't able to convert their chances, which is something that both teams needs to do if you want to win the finals, right? That's how they both made it actually to the finals. Morocco never conceded a goal. They won all their games except going to PKs with Nigeria. And I gotta say that game too was controversy about the referee being rigged, robbing the games, robbing Nigeria and all that stuff. I gotta say, I didn't watch the game. I did watch the highlights, and there was a moment that Morocco was supposed to be given a penalty that they weren't given. So all that whatever happened, and Nigeria is talking about the game was robbed and stuff like that. Yes, in some cases the referee did, some situation that they didn't call or call right. I'll give it to them. But then again, the referee also didn't call 2 penalties on Nigeria. Okay, so I divert. Let me go back to the finals. Okay, all right. So like I said, they both teams weren't able to convert their goals. Here comes to the second half. Okay, so the second half was intense, crazy. The pace, the momentum, everything was there. They just couldn't convert. But there came a moment in the game that Senegal had a goal. Okay, Senegal scored a goal, but was disallowed. The goal was taken back and it was disallowed. What do I think about that goal? Was it a goal? Yes, to me it was a goal. Was that a foul? It wasn't a foul. Both players were arms up. You know what I'm trying to say? Both players had their arms up, pushing each other. And I was watching a video on YouTube, and they were talking about something about law, the AFCON law, the soccer law, whatever it is. That's just BS. Okay, that is BS. Both players were actually hands on. Hakimi was pushing the other guy, the other player. I believe who was it? Sa. I believe it was Sa. That's that the name, I believe. Yeah, I need to go watch the video again. But yeah, he was actually, holding him, preventing him from going in because the ball was crossed. He was preventing him to go in. And that, to me, that was the foul supposed to be on Hakimi. They were both arms reached, pushing each other. So the ball was coming. Hakimi wasn't even watching the ball. He was like interfering with the player to go score a goal. So what was the player supposed to do? He was supposed to move him out of the way because they were both pushing each other. He was supposed to push him out of the way to go for the ball, which is what he did. But according to the law, they're talking about when one or more offense occur. When the one that score the goal have to be overpowered, right? So in this moment, since Senegal scored, that goal was overturned because they're talking about the offense was higher than Hakimi. Okay, if that ball wasn't scored, that foul wasn't going to be called. Okay, and I got to tell you something. Okay, the referee was supposed to even wait. He didn't even wait for the ball to go in or whatever. As soon as that happened, he called a foul, and that can happen because both players were going at each other. I'm a soccer player. I play aggressively. I'm offensive. I play midfield. I play offense. I play outside mid. And most of the time, it happens. Okay? Pushing, holding. And this is the finals. Not less. Let's talk about the finals. This is the AFCON finals. Okay? And there's going to be pushing, there's going to be shoving. And that moment, the goal that they took away from Senegal was a rob. They really robbed them because what they want to give the goal, the finals to Morocco. Okay, that right there wasn't a foul. And why didn't the referee check the VAR? Because he blew the whistle before they even scored. So there's no way he can go check the VAR. You understand what I'm saying? He shouldn't have even called a foul. Hakim was stopping him to go to score a goal. Why was a foul called? Why was a foul called? You were like intercepting me to go score. You weren't even watching the ball. You weren't watching the ball coming in. There was a crossing coming in. I know where the ball is. I'm trying to go, and you intercepting me not to go. I have to find a way to go. That's what he did. Why was the foul called? They took away that goal away from them, and that moment really pissed me off because I've seen it. There's a lot of time I played and the referee, there's a rig because the referee knows the other team or the home team or whatever it's called. They'll find a way to give the home team an advantage to win. And this time, that's Morocco because they're the host. They play in home, and most of the time, any team that hosts an AFCON or whatever end up either winning the game. If you look at the history. Okay, the percentage wise, any team that hosts always getting winning. And why? Because it happens. They always want to give the host team to win, and that's embarrassing if the host team's not going to win or not losing the game or getting out of the tournament. That's just disgracing. Okay, so that goal taken away, to me, it wasn't a foul. And was that referee wrong? Yes, he was. Because he even gave a foul before the goal was scored, and that caused him not to be able to go watch the VAR because you already called a foul. So how can you go watch the VAR? You see? So what happened? Senegal didn't give up. They continued playing. They continued giving their momentum. They continued giving all they have because they're like, this is not going to stop us. We're going to keep playing. They kept playing the game. They kept playing and pushing and playing and pushing. They actually held Morocco. They actually played good. But then here comes the other side. Here comes the other problem. Here comes the whole chaos that happened after this. Okay, there was a corner coming in. Here comes a crossing. The ball was coming in. There was Diaz. Okay, Diaz was in there with a defender. Okay, so I don't know what the defender's name is. I need to just research and find who caused that foul. But yeah, let's just forget about it. I know there was a defender with Diaz. Okay, Diaz was standing in front of the defender while the ball was being crossed. Look at this. Compare that to the first. Compare this to Senegal's goal that they scored. The foul that was called. Okay, because they were trying to score. That's the law, right? Because they're saying that when one of the players overcome the order, right? And that means like whoever scored the goal have to be overpowered. You get me? Because since Senegal scored a goal, they overpowered the opposition. So that's why the goal was taken away. So before that ball came in, Diaz was in front of the defender. Okay, what was he doing? His hand was across the defender. I mean, he's a forward, so I mean, I get it. His hands was across the defender, on the back of the defender, stopping him from trying to defend the ball, right? Because the crossing was coming in. So what did the defender do? The defender had to like make sure he goes around him, but that ball was coming in. What did Diaz do? He's smart. He went around like this, turned him around, but then he knew the guy's arm was on his shoulder, right? So he did push him down. He had to go down. He did pull him down, but before that, the guy was holding him. So what was he supposed to do? What was that guy supposed to do? If you pulling me down, I have to also hold you down. But was it a PK? I don't know, because they were both going at it. It's the same thing that happened when Senegal scored. Okay, but what they gave a peek in the kind of like in the dying moment with the PK. They gave them a PK, and guess what? Diaz had to go, pressing the referee. Hey, go watch this VAR. Hey, you got to watch the VAR. You got to watch the VAR. It's like a master talking to his puppet. You got to go do it. You are the referee. You have the power on the field. You have the power on the field. You could have told him, hey, stop pushing me, stop pressuring me. You take out the card, you can show him a card, and he's going to stop. But no, we have to go watch this VAR. We got to go watch the VAR. He had to go watch it, but he wasn't able to go watch Senegal's goal that they scored because he caught a foul before they scored. Okay? So, him going to watch the VAR, he decided to give them a PK. In that moment, he gave them a PK. How many minutes was left on the clock? He gave them a PK. That's what the KL started. He gave a PK. Senegalese wasn't having it. They were going crazy. They were like, they were at that moment. They were like, this is it. We're losing the game. We can't do nothing. This is it. Because when they score this, we don't have enough time to equalize. Okay, so they were like going at it, trying. There was there was physicality in on the field. There was pushing. There was shoving. There was like screaming and all that stuff to the referee, the opposition team, even the coaches. The coaches went to at one point. The coaches went to talking to each other. I guess the Senegalese coach, what's his name, Pepe Tiao. He went to go talk to Walid, the manager for the Moroccan side, telling him, this is bullshit, right? This is actually what happened that we scored. This is bullshit, right? I mean, I can see Walid was telling him, hey, it's not me. I didn't call it, right? Because he didn't actually call the game. It's the referee's fault. It's the referee that called the game. Okay, you can tell I'm into this because I've seen this happen so many times when I'm playing. So that's why I'm pumped up. So let me jump back into the game. Let me jump right back in. Yeah. Okay. So the penalty was given, and then what happened? The coach, Pepe Tiao from Senegal, the head coach, decided to tell the players, we need to leave the field. We need to walk off the field because this right is BS. We're being robbed. This game is rigged. You've got to leave the field. Was that the right decision to make? No. As a head coach, you got to lead by example. You need to lead by an example. You telling the players to leave the field and walk off. First of all, that's not the right thing to do. Second of all, you're going to put the nation in trouble because they would have been banned from that because they're walking off the AFCON finals. They would have been banned from playing, totally, from playing in African Cup of Nations. Who knows for how long? maybe like years, who knows, 2 3 years, they would have been banned. Okay, yes, the coach, what the referee did was bad, but you don't lead an example like that. You are the head coach. The players look after the players look, they look after you. You know what I'm trying to say? They look at you to make sure they follow you. You like their mentor. You live by an example. You don't tell them to leave the field. And guess what? Most of the players left the field. Most of the players left the field, which would have cost them huge fine, banning them in AFCON, which is not good. One of the best nations. One of the best nations. Senegal is one of the greatest, what do you call it, African teams to play. And guess what? If this happened, it would have banned them not to play in AFCON. And who knows, maybe it might even affect them in the World Cup, because it reflects what they did. Okay? So I wasn't happy about what the coach did. That leading by an example, calling them to leave the field. No, that wasn't it. You can't do that. You can never do that. But guess what? Sadio Mane, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Okay? This guy right here, Sadio Mane, I'm telling you, he saved them. Sadio Mane, he saved them. Really, really huge. What he did, him staying on the field, going to call the guys back from the locker room to come on the field and finish the game. This is leadership. This is what a leader is supposed to do. This is what the coach needs to do. Maybe the coach needs to come and learn from Sadio Mane. Okay? Even though he won this African Cup of Nations, I don't think they should bring him back. I don't know. I think they should replace him. Even replace him going to the World Cup. Because you can't go do this bullshit in the BS in the World Cup. You can't you live in the field. You can't do that. You know? And that's the World Cup. Everyone is watching. And I want to say, Sadio Mane, I respect that guy. You know, people don't talk about him too much, but I totally respect that guy. He's humble, respectful, obedient. When he's on the field, he shows that he's the best on the field. He shows that he doesn't talk too much. He makes the ball talk for him, okay? He's like Messi. He doesn't talk a lot, but he makes the ball talk for him on the field. Okay? So what he did today, I'm going to applaud him. Because he's the reason why they even made it to the finals. Because what? He scored the winning goal against Egypt and they made it to the finals. So him organizing them to come back and telling them, hey, this is not how to do it. This is not how to end the AFCON. Let's come out and play. Let's show that, look, even though we're being robbed, we gave it all. We gave it all. Okay? So luckily they came back. They came back to the field. And guess what? This is another issue that I really want to talk about. Diaz. Okay? Let me talk about Diaz. I want to talk about him right now, okay? Okay. Brahim Diaz, don't get me wrong. That guy, he played, he's a Real Madrid player, right? He played for Real Madrid. And guess what? I guess he scored in every single tournament that he played, the tournament that he scored in all the games he scored. Okay? And for some reason, he wasn't supposed to be the one that takes the penalty, right? I think he was supposed to be what's his name? Forget it. I don't know who he wasn't supposed to be the one that actually takes that penalty. It's supposed to be another player that takes that penalty. Okay? But I don't know. I don't know why I think there's a conversation that went on, okay? But anyways, let's jump back to what I'm saying. Okay. So I think there's a conversation that went on. Okay? So what I think, right, at that moment is that, hey, you know what? I scored in every game that we play in this tournament. So let me take this penalty. I'm confident I can score, so I can set a record. Because I don't know if there's a player in history that scored in every tournament of the game and even scored in the finals of the AFCON. So maybe he's probably trying to set a record to his name, to see that, I scored in every single tournament and I even scored in the finals and I even scored a winning goal to the host or to the nation. Okay, and Hakimi, okay, Hakimi would have stepped up for this PK. Other players could have stepped up for the PK. This guy, Ayobi Al-Kabi, he could have stepped up for the PK. Okay? There's a lot of players that could have stepped up for this PK. But no, Diaz want to step up. At that moment, to me, are we playing this finals to set it for a record, or are we playing to win a trophy for the country, a trophy for the nation? Are we trying to win a trophy, or are we playing for a record? And it's not in the race. No one is in the race with him. He's the best goal scorer. He has most goals in the tournament. So why does he want to go take the PK? Like I said, to set a record. To set a record. And if I was the coach, I would have been like, you know what, Hakimi, you are the leader, you are the captain. Go and take this PK. You gotta be confident to go take that PK. But it's also a mind game, okay? Before the PK was taken, the Senegal player, one of the Senegal players have to step up again, be like, hey, you have to tell the coach, this is BS, the ball needs to be placed right, and Mendy also had to step out of his goal, came to talk to the referee. It's all mind games. At that moment, Diaz is like, man, there's a pressure on my shoulder. This is it. If I score this, we get in the AFCON Cup of Nations. If I don't score this, then I have all this on my shoulder. But it's a mind game. And if you want to go play that kind of mind game, you don't step up to go take a Pineka. Who does that? Who does this? This is the finals. It's the finals. Why do you want to go take a Pineka? And do you know who you want to take a Pineka against? Mendy. Mendy's an experienced goalkeeper. He's really good. One of the best. And you want to go take a Pineka against him? No. When I was playing, there's a rule that I always put. A penalty is a V shape. I always call it like a V. The letter V. This is the pole right here. The goal is in the middle. It's a V. V shape. Either put it lower, left, lower, right, or upper. That's it. You barely have to put it in the middle. Even if you want to put in the middle, you hit it with the pressure. Hit that ball hard. But you want to go take a Pineka. If you want to take a Pineka, you also have to step back, run to the ball. He didn't even run a lot to the ball. He stood there about 3-4 feet away, and he ran to go take a Pineka. No, you have to go step back and bring a force, like you're going to shoot, and then you take a Pineka. But no, you can do that on Mendy. Mendy reads you. He reads your body languages. That's what goalies do. They read your body languages before you take the game, before you take the penalty. And what Mendy was doing, he steadied him. He didn't even rush it. He stood his ground to see where he was going to go. And when he saw that I was doing the Pineka, he stood and grabbed the ball. And that was it. That caused them so much. That right there caused them so much. That was it. And they said, look, the ball don't lie. I played so many times, and I always say the ball don't lie. It doesn't matter if the nation or the host or whatever is against you, the referee is even against you. It doesn't matter. The ball doesn't lie. And when the time comes, what did they do? They scored. As soon as they started the extra time, in 3 minutes into the extra time, Sadio Mane, who else? Him. He stole the ball, laid it back, a true pass, and who scored? Pepe Gaye scored in the 94th minute. And that was it. Because at that moment, you missing that PK gave Senegal it gives them that, positivity that, hey, we got this. They missed that PK, so it's going to mess up in their mind. So this game right here is ours. And I'm going to tell you something. God intervened, okay? God intervened in this moment. Because, guys, I'm not going to sit here and watch this happen. I'm not going to sit and watch them rob Senegal. Nigeria said it. Cameroon said it. They robbed Cameroon as well. Okay? They did. But God said, it's not today. Not today. And they won the game. Senegal actually won the game in the extra time. And that made me so happy. When I saw him miss that PK, I was like, no way. Are you serious? Are you really kidding me? You doing this in the finals? I remember when Ghana played in the World Cup in 2010, I believe against Uruguay. When Suarez, we all know about the Suarez. When Suarez, hit the ball out of the goal with his hand, and him getting a red card and Ghana getting a penalty in the last minute, and a Samoa Giant, we all know he hit the post. And we went to the PKs. That was the quarterfinals. So we ended up going to penalty kicks. And the penalty kick that won the game was a Pinelka from the Uruguayan player. He's one of the best Pinelka taker, right? He always, the Pinelka is not meant for everybody, okay? Diaz, let me tell you, Pinelka is not meant for everybody. Even Messi, I believe, was in one of the World Cup games. He went to go do Pinelka, he missed it. He hit the post. Pinelka is not for everybody. Okay? PK is a V shape. Make sure you put the power in it. Make sure you put it low or high, where the goalie can get. It's not just like, it's like you, to me, it's like showing a 3 or 4 year, 5-year-old boy how to kick a ball. That's what a Pinelka is. But you need to be confident and know what you're doing or who you're going against before you do that Pinelka. Okay, so I don't know. Oh, you let your country down. You let the host. You let your nation. You let them down. Whatever they want to do with you, that's it. It's either if they are going to invite you to come play again in the World Cup, that's up to the CAF. That's up to the head coach. Because what you did right there, I don't know. If I was the coach, I'll bench you. No matter if I'm going to bench you. Or would I even call you back for the World Cup? No, I won't. Because you really messed up bad. In the finals, you go for Pinelka. That's not a good idea. And I'm really happy that Senegal won these finals. I'm really glad they won these finals. They deserved it. They really deserve it. And the thing is, they're bringing it back to the West Africa. Okay, they brought it to West Africa. And that's what I'm happy about. My country didn't make it. Ghana didn't make it. But hey, we're going to the World Cup and we're getting ready for it. Okay? But I'm glad the Cup is in West Africa. Yes, this is what I want to talk about, the African Cup of Nations today. And like I told you, it's one of the craziest African Cup of Nations finals I've ever watched. Okay? And I don't know if there's anything that's going to beat it. But who knows in the coming future. Okay? But like I said, so far, this right here is one of the greatest finals, AFCON finals. And congratulations to Senegal and my man, Sadio Mane. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for your humbleness. Thank you for being a leader. That's what a leader needs to do. Thank you for being a great leader to your players. Showing them what the leader needs to be. Your coach, I think your coach needs to learn from you. Okay, he needs to really learn from you. Okay, thank you for everything you do. All right, guys, this is what I have for today. I know it's been a while. I've come here, but I just wanted to come here and talk about the finals, man. I'm so pumped up. I want to play. I want to get on the field and play, But yeah, thank you. And in closing, all I gotta say is that both teams pushed hard. Senegal looked to kill the game, with counterattacks, and while Morocco threw numbers forward, searching for an equalizer, it didn't happen. It all came to Senegal scoring the winning goal. And that's what I'm talking about. You never give up. You keep pushing. You keep pushing. Even if the odds are against you, you keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Good job, Senegal. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to add the comment. What do you think about this game? What do you think the referee, was rigged? Do you think the referee robbed Senegal? Do you think it was a fair call? Do you think this was a fair call taking away the goal? Do you think it's a fair call for the penalty? And do you think what the coach did was right? Or do you think this was staged?